everyone, Skyler the Scottman. We're here to do a driving video today. We're going to be heading west on M-57 here in the central part of Michigan. So it's a beautiful day out today. So we're going to be driving on M-57 from where it begins at M-15, just north of Otisville, Michigan. And we're going to head all the way over to M-52, just to the west of Chesaning, Michigan. So anyway, I was just saying it's very sunny out today. It's very chilly out too. Current thermometer is reading 26 degrees Fahrenheit. If you convert that to Celsius, it's around like -3. So it's chilly out, but it is only early March. So spring is around the corner. But we're finally getting some warmer weather coming in. So it's looking a lot better. Because just about all the snow is melted. There's still some last bits of it trying to hold on, but with some spring-like weather we're about to see, things are starting to really warm up. But yeah, M-57 goes east and west through the majority of the state of Michigan, because it doesn't go all the way to the east over to like Lake Huron or anything, and then in addition, it doesn't really go all the way to the west to like Lake Michigan. Because yeah, I believe it only goes as far west as Highway 131 to areas like north of the Grand Rapids area. So it crosses over the state of Michigan, but not in the entirety of the lower peninsula. So we'll be definitely be driving through a lot of different farmlands throughout this highway, but we'll be going through 3 different towns along the way. And we're having a 4-way stop here for Irish Road. I didn't think this road came all the way up to the north. Because Irish Road is like the eastern end of the Flint metropolitan area, especially as you go to the south. Because it goes down, like, I think, like to the eastern end of Burton, Michigan, or something like that, or close to it. It's like between Burton and Davison. So yeah, with this route, it's not really a route people will generally take to get to major cities or anything. It's more just like to get to different towns you're trying to get to, whether it's like Clio or Chesaning, or if you want to go even further to the west, heading out toward like even like Greenville, Michigan, which is closer to 131, which I remember going there a couple years ago. Which is almost like, you can almost say, consider Greenville, Michigan, be like Michigan's little Denmark a little bit too. Although it's maybe not as vibrant as, like, let's say Solvang, California, where it's heavily Dutch themed. But still, I remember walking around Greenville. It was pretty cool. Like, they even have a replica of the Little Mermaid statue that they have in Copenhagen, Denmark. But yeah, I can't believe it's already well, it's not the first day of March, but it's like it's the second Saturday of March, I would say. And yeah, I'm glad the winter is finally over with, I have to say. Oh yeah, here's Belsey Road, which is another road which heads back down toward like the Burton and Grand Blanc area. So it is amazing how farther north a lot of the roads down in the Flint or the overall Flint area comes up this far north. I feel it tickled my nose. I need to blow my nose really quick. There we go, that's better. That's kind of the bad thing about March or even April in Michigan, is that you get very vibrant temperature changes, because we could, like, especially in March, we could still see snowstorms, temperatures where we barely get above freezing, especially in the first part of the month. But yeah, we could see like 60, 70, or even 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Heck, we even had 80-degree weather in 2012 in March. And yeah, that's Genesee Road back there. That even heads all the way down to, or that pretty much heads all the way down to, there's a town called Genesee that's off to the south. But yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not sure why I haven't done this video yet here on M-57 or anything on M-57. But like, might as well take care of it now because I have the time to do so. Okay, so yeah, I think we got, yeah, the next town's that could be kind of for another few miles or so. But yeah, it's like I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh yeah, so yeah, now that spring is on its way, it's like now I feel like I can stop hibernating a little bit. Although I did go on a long weekend trip to Miami, Florida a few weeks ago, so I was able to escape the colder weather. But now with warmer weather coming out, I can get out more often on the weekends, more than just going to like a restaurant or something, or going for like a little drive. Because yeah, if you've heard me on some of these driving videos, like I don't tolerate the cold very well, and as I've gotten older, it's been more and more difficult for me to tolerate the cold weather. And I believe if you make a left on Bray Road, go down several miles to the south, you head down to where Crossroads Village is, and also Huckleberry Railroad. Anyway, so getting back to what I was talking about, so it's like I've been having a more difficult time handling cold weather compared to warm weather. It's like, yeah, so basically, temperatures around freezing. It's like, yeah, it's cold, but I can tolerate it. If it gets in the 20s, or getting down to as low as -5 Celsius, it's difficult, but I can handle it a little bit. If you start getting like the teens Fahrenheit, to get closer to -10, yeah, then I have a really hard time. It's like, I'm generally just wanting to go to and from the car, whether I'm going into a store or a restaurant, museum, or anything like that. If it's in the single digits Fahrenheit, though, it's like, forget it. It's like I almost don't even want to leave the house. Unless I absolutely have to. Like, let's say if I'm going to work, or if I... if I need to stop at the store for something. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure why that shut off just now, because I didn't say any magic words. Or if I did, then this has a weird voice recognition system. The good news, though, you didn't really miss anything. But yeah, I am looking to get a brand new action camera to replace this one, because I've been using this GoPro for 9 years, and I'm impressed for how long it's held up. But I'm down to the last battery, and there's even some potential signs that it could be going sometime soon. So I'll have to get something new, otherwise I'll have to stop filming these driving videos. And I rare not do that or anything, but I've got a lot of film recently, so it'll give me time to look for a new action camera, buy it, and then of course test things out before I use it for production use, like for when I film these driving videos. And here is M-54. This is Dort Highway. All it looks like it's become Saginaw Road over here. So M-54 continues up all the way to, basically to Birch, or eventually heads north toward Frankenmuth, but then it heads west before it and heads over to Birch Run. But you can also stay north of where it becomes M-83, and then you head up to Frankenmuth. Alternatively, when we get up to Clio Road, you can take that due north. It'll take you up to the same area. So we are now entering Clio. Nice, it's a nice little town. It's the first little city we're driving through, especially in this video, and also on the entire route of M-57 in general. So yeah, I remember not last fall, but the year before that, so like late 2023, I remember filming a YouTube video. I did one in Flushing, Michigan, which is like west of Flint, and then I also came up here to Clio, got to walk around a little bit. And there's a nice little park off to the right. Like on the other side of the street, there's a nice little walking path which goes through like a nice little small park. And yep, here we are in downtown Clio. Not really a whole lot to it, but a nice little small downtown area. So yeah, this is the main business district for Clio. Just got several stores in here, even some restaurants in here. Got the Veterans Memorial up to the left there. Yep, Veterans Memorial Park. We got Historic Railroad Station to the right. It's a little museum. So that traffic light we were at, that was Clio. It's Mill Street here in Clio, but it becomes Clio Road as you go north, and then it joins up with M-54, of course, and that takes you up toward where Birch Run and Frankenmuth are located. There have been times when I've come back from Frankenmuth to head home, back down to Metro Detroit, like especially around the holidays, where I detect that there's very heavy traffic on Birch Run Road getting to the freeway. So there's been times where I've continued south down to Clio, and I've come over here to Vienna Road, which is what we're on right now for M-57, and gotten over to I-75 that way, or like I would say this way. So over here to the west of Clio, you got all your different fast food restaurants. You got a Dairy Queen over there, and we got more coming up on the other side of Jennings Road, this traffic light here. Because yeah, less than a mile away we have the freeway. And yeah, you got different businesses in here like Tractor Supply Company, you got AutoZone, got gas stations, looks like even a dealership coming up. Got Tim Hortons. I see a Burger King and McDonald's way up ahead. They still have a sign up for Kmart, even though Kmart's definitely gone. Oh yeah, other fast food restaurants, KFC, Arby's, Subway. Even a Chinese restaurant. And of course, yeah, as I was just saying, a former Kmart. They still have a sign up though, which is kind of weird. Light just turned green, so I'm going to keep this rolling. And yeah, when I look over, nothing has gone into where Kmart used to be. was just sitting vacant. Oh, they even have a Jimmy John's over here too. Taco Bell. Crispy chicken and burgers. More of a local, I assume a more local fast food restaurant. And here's the interchange with I-75. So you take I-75 south, that'll take you back down to the Flint area, and eventually, of course, heading down toward Detroit. Or I-75 north heads up toward Saginaw and Bay City, like the whole Tri-Cities area. And then over here on this side of the freeway, you even have a Big Boy and Applebee's, Rallies. Oh, there's even an Aldi grocery store too. And then there's even a Walmart way off to the left too. So there's definitely different things going on in this little area of Clio. Obviously, you want to go to all the big stores, you have to pretty much head down to the Flint area, but there's still quite a bit around in the Clio area. So now we're definitely out of Clio now. We're back in the Michigan countryside just for a little bit. We have like a little less than 6 miles to go till we get to the next town, which is Montrose, and then 18 miles to Chesaning. Which out of the 3 communities we're going through in this video, Chesaning is the largest of the 3. So as I was saying at the beginning of the video, people tend not to drive on M-57 to go from like I-75, let's say over to 131 or even 127. People will probably generally will take I-69 west toward 127 and go up that way since it's all freeway. So people are mainly using this to get to like towns like Chesaning or Montrose, or go the other way to Clio, or even going like to Vassar and Otisville. But they're nice scenic routes though, even though it's primarily flat, like you don't really get any impressive scenery along this, but less traffic than the freeway. Yeah, Clio is pretty nice, though. Again, just the downtown area is not all that huge or anything. I feel another tickle in my nose. And not only that, too, we have a stop sign. I mean, a traffic light, excuse me. One thing I forgot to mention, yeah, right now, we're at like the almost like the northern end of Genesee County, and where we started in the video, or with the video, is that we were at M-57, that's like or at M-15, excuse me, we're at the eastern end of Genesee County. Like, man, my allergies are acting up today. Definitely with the changing of the temperatures that we've been seeing, we've been seeing a very large amount of temperature change this past week. In fact, I even had a sinus headache earlier in the past week, where I wasn't feeling that good like a few days ago, where I had like a sinus headache. But then like a day or two later, just cleared up, and then again, as I was saying, it's like this time of the year can be very rough, especially with allergies, because you do have a very large fluctuation of temperatures. Because again, as I say, we can see temperatures below freezing in March, but we can also we've even seen temperatures as high as 80 degrees in March. So it's one of those where you hear Michiganders talking about how you see all 4 seasons in a week. March and April are a perfect description of that, or a perfect symbol of that. And in fact, you almost can see, in a way, see all 4 seasons in a day. Like, I'm not kidding you. Because there's been times where we've seen like temperatures in the 70s, or maybe getting close to 80. We get a bunch of thunderstorms or something, maybe even a chance of a tornado, and all of a sudden we get a very sharp cold front, or very strong cold front where it brings in Arctic air, and all of a sudden we see a bunch of snow like immediately after. So like one day we're seeing summer-like temperatures, and then all of a sudden we're back to winter again. And then just a couple days later it's super warm again. Although, yeah, Michigan's not the only state that's like that. I feel like many Midwestern states are like that too, like Minnesota or Wisconsin. Or heck, even going over to like the Great Plains, going like to the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, or even going over to Colorado too. Because Denver can see some really warm weather, and then all of a sudden they get a big snowstorm. Of course, when you get into March and April, any snow that we do get here doesn't last long. It just melts a matter of days, or heck, in some cases, hours. And we are now starting to come into Montrose. And over here, this is the Flint River. The same Flint River, which of course comes over from Flint, also Flushing, Michigan, and heads its way up toward the to the Saginaw River near the Shiawassee National Wildlife Refuge. And we are now entering the city limits for Montrose. Correctly, I think Montrose has less of a downtown area than Clio does. Although still big enough to have even a Taco Bell here, to have Taco Bell and McDonald's. And also a CVS Pharmacy. This is the main business district. Not much. Even though there's like a tavern, a couple stores in here. Another historic railroad depot. It's a railroad museum. I've not been in that though. I've not really walked around in Montrose because it's not really a whole lot. As was saying, yeah, not really a whole lot to Montrose. It's the smallest of the 3 cities we're driving through in this video. They even have a dollar store out here in the western end. Alright, so we are now getting out of Montrose, and we're back out to the countryside for central Michigan here. Oh yeah, I think I see the stop sign way up ahead for M-13. we got probably like another good 10, maybe 11 miles till we get to Chesaning, which is the next city we'll be going through. Yep, half mile to M13. So M13, yeah, that's a video, well, a series of videos I've done in the past where I've driven the entirety of M13, not continuously, like in the same day or anything. The M13 heads down to Lennon, Michigan, which is down near I-69. Then M13 going north, that takes you up to Saginaw. Like it goes through downtown Saginaw and eventually ends up in Bay City before concluding over in Penn County up near Standish. So crossing over M13, we are now in Saginaw County. You have 10 miles to Chesaning, and if you want to go all the way to Greenville, that's another 68 miles. So that's quite a distance. So generally, Saginaw County is to the north of Genesee County. However, there is a part of Saginaw County which dips down to the south a little bit, which is what we're on right now. Like the southwest part of Saginaw County goes a little bit to the northwest, to the west northwest of Genesee County. When I get over the Chesaning, well, I have to drive through it first, but after I finish the video, I'm going to be turning back around and I'm going to be going into Chesaning for lunch. There's a restaurant called the Showboat, which I remember covering several years ago in a YouTube video, like not a long YouTube video, it was back when I was doing the Travel Delights videos before I evolved those into like the food and restaurant tours I do now. They had some pretty good food there, like right in the main city center there. So yeah, anyway, as things continue to warm up here in Michigan, yeah, we'll start planning some different like day trips during the weekends, or even like weekend trips too. Because I have a week-long trip coming up. Matter of fact, a week from today, even going down to Mexico City, Mexico for a good week. So I figured go ahead and reveal that in this video. Although if you follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen a bunch of content already. But content for Mexico City obviously wouldn't go up till after, well, I'm still uploading stuff for my Houston trip back from the holidays. And then there's a couple of videos coming up from my recent trip to Miami. But then after that, then my next big trip's it's not gonna be till like October, so in between the two big trips, it's going to be primarily like weekend trips or long weekend trips, short weekend trips, or like day trips. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be like almost like they call my busy season, because it's like I'm not spending all my time just hanging around at home. It's like I'm getting out to do stuff, make content, and of course get out there and travel and have fun with it. And of course continue my cultural awareness mission, as I made a video about that at the beginning of the year. Which of course I got a little bit into that with Houston, and of course especially with Miami, and then now with what I'm planning to trips, they tend to be easier just because I don't have to necessarily plan out like several months in advance or anything. Now, if I was planning to go do like a trip to like a bunch of the national parks out west, that might be a different story, because I know like a lot of the national parks like Yosemite or Yellowstone, or I don't know about Yellowstone, but Rocky Mountain National Park, a lot of those parks, or especially like Zion, where a lot of times you have to reserve in advance, like a timed entry or something like that, just because those are extremely popular parks, and people from all over the world are trying to go there, and they're trying to keep the crowds manageable. So yeah, there's a lot I still got to plan out, and of course, continue my mission along the way too. But it's like, yeah, with the whole cultural awareness mission too, it's like there's a lot of international destinations I'm trying to get to, and of course, even here in the United States, trying to show different cultural experiences here too. Just like even with Miami, going down to Miami, checking out like the Cuban culture, like that's like in Little Havana, or even some other areas around Miami, like even going to a Venezuelan restaurant that I went to in the Miami area. So doing a lot of that, but at the same time showing different parts of the United States, which like a lot of people don't necessarily get to learn much about. That's kind of why I really enjoyed the trip down to Alabama I did. It was 2 years ago I went down to Alabama. Even a little bit of Mississippi too, because I remember getting to check out Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, Mobile, and also Fairhope, Alabama, which is close to Mobile. And then even going over to Gulfport, Mississippi, and then even did like a day trip to New Orleans. Although everybody's generally heard of New Orleans, but people necessarily don't put Alabama on their tourist radar, which is kind of sad to see, because there's a lot of cool things in Alabama. All these different museums involving like the civil rights movement, because Alabama played a key role with the civil rights movement from major figures like Rosa Parks and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's like very, very important building blocks for the development of our country of today. And of course, there's a lot of work that has to be done even to this day, but we've come a long way though. But there is a lot more work to do. But at the same time too, Alabama has a lot of natural beauty too. Like I remember visiting I didn't cover it on YouTube or anything, but there's a really beautiful state park to the northwest of Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which was very scenic. But that's another thing I'm trying to show with me going to a lot of different places in the United States. The United States is more than just New York City, California, Washington, D.C., and Disney World, and all the theme parks down in Orlando. There's more to the United States than just that, or all of those I just named. They're all cool sites, don't get me wrong, but that's why I've also been enjoying sharing some stuff in my home state of Michigan too, because Michigan's not a flyover state. There's a lot of cool things all over the state. So we are now entering the village of Chesaning, which, what's interesting is that Chesaning is the largest community we're driving through in this video compared to Clio and Montrose. Yet Chesaning is considered a village, not a city, which is really interesting. So Montrose is technically smaller, but Chesaning, although think it could be terms of population too, but the downtown area for Chesaning is definitely larger compared to Montrose. Although I guess you could argue that Clio does have a Walmart and a bunch of fast food restaurants, even some of the chain restaurants too, like Big Boy and Applebee's. So we're starting to come into Chesaning now. We already entered the village limits, as I pointed out a minute ago. But we're heading to the north briefly, but then we're going to start heading more to the west again. So to continue on M-57, we will need to make a left turn at this traffic signal, although it's just a flashing yellow. So we'll go ahead and we'll make a left turn here to continue on M-57. And then upon crossing over the Shiawassee River, we'll be in downtown Chesaning. And the Shiawassee River, like the Flint River, heads north all the way up to the Saginaw River. Also, I think the Shiawassee River begins all over near like Fenton, Michigan, which is to the south of Flint. And unfortunately, we have a stop, or a traffic light we have to stop at. And yeah, welcome to downtown Chesaning. It's a really nice little town. I feel like the downtown area is just a little bit bigger than Clio, despite this only being a village and not a city. And yeah, that Showboat restaurant we just pass it on the right. Got a dollar store off to the left, and then we'll continue west, going to the western part of Chesaning. A large green elevator over here. Although it looks like the railroad may not be in use anymore because they got like railroad crossing exempt signs. So the railroad there is not really in use anymore. So they have a little small grocery store here. It's not any one of the big names like Kroger or Meijer or anything like that. It's probably more like a family-run supermarket, which is pretty cool. Oh, there's even a Little Caesars over here. Store, but yeah, it is interesting though. Yeah, I didn't recall seeing a McDonald's in Chesaning, but there is a Little Caesars. But this is Michigan after all. Little Caesars is from Detroit. McDonald's is not. So we only have like another mile or so left to go until we get to M-52, and then we'll get to the end of the video. Oh, it looks like the fairgrounds, I think, for Saginaw County are all the way out here. Oh, we've got a big slowdown up ahead here. There were some cars that just turned though, so that's probably a part of it. So the next intersection we're coming up to is M-52, which is another video series I've done previously. So M-52 heads eventually up to M-46 to near like Hemlock. And you take M-52 south, they'll take you back down toward like, go north up to St. Charles. M-52 south eventually heads down toward Owasso, then down toward Stockbridge, and then Chelsea. Going pretty much all the way down to the Ohio border. Okay, looks like there are some fast food restaurants out here. Okay, so here's the McDonald's for Chesaning. It's not in Chesaning itself, it's out here. You got McDonald's and Taco Bell out here. And here is M-52. So I hope you enjoyed this video here on M-57, going from M-15 near Otisville all the way to M-52 to the west of Chesaning. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. Don't forget to click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on any future adventures. Well, thank you for watching, and this is Scott, or the Scottman, signing out.